Okay, are we ready?
This is Nick Lewis, and this is Raw Rebellion. I'm here with Carlos, aka Sunchild. Say what up, Carlos.
Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing? Much peace and love to everybody.
Carlos, where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles, California.
Nice. How long have you been out there?
My whole life, born and raised.
That's cool. I was just in LA. It's really beautiful. I love the dry heat. It's really humid over here on the East Coast. Um,
Nice.
Carlos, you're really into bodybuilding and fitness. You eat a high raw diet. Um, you practice a lot of spirituality, as I can see. I first started following you on Instagram. I found you through hashtag raw vegan bodybuilding.
Yes.
Um, so, I found your workouts really impressive for the kind of diet that you eat. Because, there's a lot of misconceptions about the vegan diet and particularly about high raw and raw vegan diets.
Yeah, of
So,
course.
talk to me about that a little bit. When did you become vegan?
About 2 years ago.
What is the driving factor there, my friend?
About 2 years ago, and it was more so just becoming aware of what I was doing to my body, and and the food that I was forcing down my body, and my body is not built to break down these tissues, these animal proteins. And as I became aware of this by just studying at home, just home studying, reading up, just like at school when they ask you to do a paper, and you got to go ahead and research, and break down, and get the facts together. That's what I was doing basically for my own self, but for my own health and for my own well-being.
Well, yeah, and it seems to have been working for you very well. And similarly with me, my body couldn't handle meat, dairy, and eggs. I had a lot of digestive problems and other ailments as well that seemed to stem from that. And of course, nowadays, most people really do the research, find out that it all has to do with our gut biome. So this all makes sense. So other than, and I want to talk to you about your fitness and your bodybuilding, but real quick, other than what you do, the work you do in the gym, is there any other kind of activism or vegan outreach that you do?
Um, other than what I do in the gym, not necessarily at the moment, but I mean, whenever come to I've come to find more of a community now, more vegan based community, and some of my friends are involved in that area, and they balance me out, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah, it definitely takes a whole tribe to show the big picture, and we all have our calling, our purpose in this movement and in this journey. So tell me now about the diet a little bit. Are you fully raw? And if not, what's the percentage would you say of your diet that is completely raw?
I would say about 80 to 90% I'm raw because uh, my weakness is quinoa. I love quinoa, and otherwise than that, I mean, like I really everything that I consume is raw vegetables, raw fruits, raw smoothies.
That's incredible. Yeah, I see you with the green smoothie all the time. Tell us about that drink because that looks really interesting. You kind of load it up.
Yeah, yeah. I like to call it the works. It's got kale, cucumber, dandelion greens, sunflower seeds, chia seeds, sesame seeds, uh, hemp seeds, and it's got moringa powder, lucuma powder, cacao powder. It's got one of my brother's products. It's called Malinali Superfoods. It's it's the same thing, superfoods, but it's just a mixture of cacao, spirulina, amaranth, hemp, and maca. And I add all these superfoods because overall, I like actually whole superfoods instead of isolate. When you isolate anything from a plant and it's not in its whole state, it actually doesn't serve the body any well. The body can't really assimilate it the same.
So that's interesting. Your brother, does he works for a Whole Foods like not Whole Food the grocery store, but he works for a superfoods company or something?
He has his own superfood line, his own product. It's called Mali Nali Superfoods. Mali Nali Mali Nali Mali Nali Superfoods, and you can find them on Instagram and online. They have their own. They make superfood smoothies and they make uh, ancient superfood mixes.
And when did he start doing that?
He started doing that about I believe 2 years ago.
It's all vegan, everything in the line?
Yeah, everything vegan, everything locally sourced too.
That's awesome. I wish I could get my brothers to go vegan. That's so cool that you guys have that in common.
Yeah, I know.
Family's really hard, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah, it comes a time they come around. It just takes time for after a while of me practicing what I practice, you know, people start to notice my change. People start to notice your skin takes on a certain glow. You start having more energy. You don't look lethargic all the time, and it's like stamina for days, You're just electrified all the time.
Absolutely. I really find that on the raw diet, particularly, especially high fruits, doing a lot of greens. That's really made an improvement in my energy, in my skin. Um, I personally have a immune deficiency, IgA immune deficiency, and I noticed that eating higher raw foods does a lot better for my immune system and for my mental state as well. Um,
Yeah,
so,
and
it,
fasting really. I don't mean to interrupt, but
no, please.
I was just gonna add that fasting really helps with that. You see, fasting really helps rebuild and stimulate our immune system, because when we fast, and the reason I mentioned fasting because I'm pretty sure you've noticed that's something I practice as well. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah, so when you fast, after let's say after 24 hours, after a 24-hour fast, no putting no food in the body, maybe liquids, but no solids, and not really any sugars, because calories break down the process that happens when you fast. So when you fast, your body actually cannibalizes all the cells that are damaged, that need healing, that need repairing, and it eats up and it cannibalizes themselves, and it gets rid of them, and it detoxes these cells. And then it's when you finally choose to eat. This is what pushed me to be raw too. Was after fasting, after practicing intermittent fasting on a day to day, working out, it only felt right to fill my body up with electricity and light, and that's what fruits are. They're detoxifying for the body, they're cleansing for the body, and they're super light, and they bring in a lot of energy, a lot of chi.
Absolutely. Packed with vitamins, minerals, lots of nutrients. Biophotons, as we know, cooked food
Yes,
doesn't have any
yes.
biophotons. I think the science isn't out on that completely yet of how we assimilate those biophotons, but we know that the higher biophoton count, the more nutrients the plant can store because there's more communication between the cells. So I think these are all very important reasons to eat more raw food. Tell me more about the fasting, though. So when do you start your fast? Or, I mean, I should say, how long do you fast for generally? You mentioned 24-hour fast, but you don't do this too often, do you? I mean, tell me more about it.
So 24-hour fast, I would do something like I would build up to a 24-hour fast, but on a day to day, I practice intermittent fasting. Like I give myself a 16-hour no, a 6-hour window, and I fast for 18 hours on a day to day basis. And this is what works for me. This is what I found works for me. Of course, to each their own, but definitely I feel like fasting has a place for everybody. And when your body is not busy trying to break down food and try to go ahead and use energy to break that food down, because we use a lot of energy but we just don't know it. So, for an example, when you would fast, you would suddenly get a burst of energy, and this burst of energy would come from your body having all this extra energy that it usually would use to digest food. Now it has it available for you to use it and for you to heal. And that's what your body does. The deeper you go into fasting, the longer you fast, the more of the healing process that happens to the body, to the mitochondria, to the DNA. Your body produces more mitochondria. Uh, your testosterone levels go up to 2,000%. Your natural growth hormone levels go up. Everything from the body optimizes. The body goes ahead and starts going back to its original state, to full potential, when you really start uh, not having it overstuffed with food. And this is what I've come to feel in my own experience. Of course, I read up and I understood the science, I understood the facts, I understood the studies, but then it came for me to a time for me to apply it. And once I applied it, that I really begin to know what this can do for me, and what it's doing for me now. And like, I mean, I just finished a workout today. I just did a pull day today, and I was in there for 3 hours, 3.5 hours, killing multiple. I love my pull days. I do so many workouts. I do four sets of supersetting workouts. So I do 8 workouts total, but I superset two of them together, and then I break that into 4 sets, into 4 workouts.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about your workouts in just a second. I want to wrap up the fasting real quick. I do want to say when um, when I would do these 3-day juice cleanses, or I've done it 4 days. I know some people go. I have a friend right now who's doing 30 days, and some crazy people have done almost 100. But I notice when I do just those 3 days, I have so much energy, and I feel so light, and I feel like I can just do anything, on just juice. I mean, I drink a lot of juice. It's a lot, but I mean, that's all it is. It's fresh vegetable or fruit juice that I make with my juicer. And yeah, I agree. The fasting is amazing in that regard. And it resets me, I feel. So yeah, very important to fast. I agree. And you also had mentioned to me in a talk we had previously about like ketones, and especially if you're doing just water fasting or dry fasting. Explain that to me a little bit.
So most of the time I'm practicing water fasting, but most of the time I do my workouts on a dry fast. But then I drink water right after my workout. I don't like to drink water during my workout because I feel like it kind of disrupts the flow of my energy. Like my body starts focusing on the water that goes in, and instead of like where I just feel my energy not where it was focused on my entire body. It starts focusing more on my stomach again. It's almost like it feels kind of like it was food when I drink some water. So I start getting some movement down there. So I like to drink my water until I'm done, so I can really focus all the way through my workout. And it feels the best. I feel light, like you're talking about, a lot of energy. My stamina, my conditioning, my balance, my strength, all of that is on point. It keeps getting better the more I get into the gym on a faster state. This is why I've been practicing for about a year now. It's gonna be a year anniversary at the beginning of September. That's when I first started fasting, and man, it's changed the game for me. It's just changed the game. It's brought so much energy, and like you were mentioning, so when you fast, the body starts tapping into different energy. So when you fast from anywhere from 10 to 12 hours, your body, it starts actually depleting the glycogen storages in your liver, and in your kidneys, and in your muscles. And when it depletes the glycogen storage, it actually starts tapping into the stubborn fat instead. Because since you won't have food in here, since you're on a fasted state, once it depletes the glycogen, you can tap into those stubborn fat. Because this is what our body does. This is how it's supposed to survive. Our ancestors didn't have like food readily available all the time, so we couldn't go ahead and just buy an apple, buy some food whenever we wanted it or whenever we needed it. We actually had to go and gather our food, and if we did eat, we would eat towards the end of the day. We would spend most of the day on a fasted state. So this is why our body thrives on this state. It actually is not supposed to. to be overindulged, and we're not supposed to be overstuffing ourselves. Inflammation is the number one cause of aging and the breaking down of the body, and this happens when we're constantly eating and we're not letting our body get back to healing itself. And when we just give it a break from eating so much and overindulging all the time, that's when it starts healing itself. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hold on one second. I'll be right back.
Of course.
So, yeah, I definitely want to get more into fasting. So I'm gonna keep talking to you about that. You know, the next few weeks. I feel like you're kind of like the superhuman, because if people could see your workouts and what you do on a fasting state, you say lifting weight on a fasting state. I'm pretty. I mean, it's very impressive. Personally, I just don't see it for myself yet, because I get in the gym and I want water before I've even started my workout. I mean, I'm drinking water all day long.
About the mind, brother. It's all about the mind. It's mind over matter. It's like the mind is so powerful, and it's all about discipline. I'm pretty sure you've heard those who can control what they put into their body, and they can control everything. You can. The world is yours. You can control everything. You know, if you can control what you eat and what you consume and what you put into your body, if you have discipline and you can control that, the world is yours. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, and you know, that's one of the things that helps me to even just be vegan, as well as building references. So once you complete the task, or if you have a certain goal or mission and you get there and you reap the benefit from it, your brain has that reference. So it's easier to do next time, because your brain's like, oh, well, I got a reward from that, so I know it's worthwhile. Um, so when did you start doing? Okay, so you said you did the fast for about a year now. You've been vegan a little over 2 years. So with the raw thing, start with the fasting, and did you start doing that around the same time?
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, at the same time, and the reason for that was because the whole first year that I was vegan, I was already consuming a lot of cantaloupe, a lot of mango. Those being the two main fruits that help me really feel full and satisfied, and feel really like a lot of nutrition, a lot of nutrient dense meals coming in instead of I mean, nothing against cooked foods. I love myself, you know, a cooked plate. Definitely I can cook up some cooked food too. This is what I did for a whole year for myself. But I just felt more electricity, like you were talking about, lighter. It's just something that people have to feel for themselves, honestly. I can try to explain it, we could put words to it, but people have to feel it for themselves. You feel lighter, you feel more focused, you feel like you're ready at the snap of a finger. You know, you're on, it's not even like you're on your toes or like anxious. No, you literally have energy just flowing constantly, and you're ready for the moment. Like for example, I got done with my workout. I was in the sauna for like two hours, and after that, you know, I come here and after I finish my smoothie, I guarantee you, I'm not even lying. Sometimes I feel so energized already that I feel like going back for and doing double a days. You know.
Yeah.
But this is just because I'm chasing some goals right now that I gotta be smart and I want to be consistent every day. So I'm giving myself rest, because you can only go as hard as you recover. You know.
Right, right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, this is what led me, like I said, to raw food. I've tried not to be too dogmatic about it. I still enjoy, you know, cooked corn and beans and rice and, you know, potatoes every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that, just because I'm not going to say raw is law, but I do try and keep about at least a 90% raw diet, because that's just what works for me. And it seems that there's some people out there, and actually a lot more people are discovering it now, that that just eating a lot of
Yeah,
cooked food,
noticed that as well.
eating cooked food is just not working for them. And you know, I don't know what it is exactly, genetics, or if it's just this is the way we're supposed to be eating, what. But I feel like there's just some truth to it. So said cantaloupes and melons were one of the staples of the diet when you started. Is that your favorite food now? What is your favorite food? What do you love to eat more than anything else?
Mangoes, hands down. Mangoes and jackfruit. Mangoes and jackfruit.
Yeah, I would say that makes up almost the base of my diet is mangoes and tons of jackfruit. Absolutely, it's delicious.
Oh, man, I just discovered jackfruit this year. Wow, it just made it's like it found me at the right time. It said you're going raw vegan for sure now. You know?
I can't. I mean, the thing is, it's never enough for me. When there's ripe jackfruit around, I can just eat it and eat it and eat it and not stop. You know what I mean?
Yep. That same
Um,
here, brother. I love the flavor. It's endless for me. And honestly, so ever since I discovered it, I feel like it helped my stamina. Like certain fruits, like I resonate with too. I noticed that mangoes just work wonders for me. They give me energy. They give me stamina. Cantaloupes, they digest super fast. They feel super cleansing. They really get. If I eat a cantaloupe, a whole cantaloupe, I mean, like in an hour or less, I have bowel movement already, and I could feel like super lighter and just cleansed after that cantaloupe. And you know, these things are naturally detoxifying the body and giving it light, giving it you know, they have their own we have I mean, this might be off topic, but I want to mention this. We're electrical beings. At the end of the day, we're electrical beings, and we need electricity. The muscles work through electromagnetism. They don't work. There's literally synapses, you know, that happen in the brain, and there's electricity to all that, and that electricity and that magnetism gets the muscle to flex and contract. And without oxygen and electricity, we don't have no movement. We don't have no ability to move. Our body can't even function. The brain and the ligaments can't connect. But but this is why fruit feels so good to us, because this is all we need. We have oxygen, electricity, minerals, and water. That's what fruit is, you know. And
right.
it's so amazing. It's sun cooked. It's cooked by the sun, you know.
And then they talk about a lot of the raw foodists talk about enzymes and phytochemicals as well, which you're not going to get in cooked food. Uh, Particularly the phytochemicals and like flavonoids and antioxidants that get cooked out of a lot of stuff. You know, and I've even been listening to this guy Tony Wright. I don't know, you know, how on point he is, but he brings up some interesting ideas anyway. That, you know, when we were living in or when hominids were living in a more jungle setting, eating so much fruit, the flavonoids and antioxidants protect the brain so much that it was one of the factors that helped us grow bigger brains, which I think is very, very interesting. So yeah, you know, we always say around here, my buddy Joe Sway says a lot, the truth is in the fruit. So I absolutely agree with you 100% on that. So I noticed, because I follow all your Instagram stories. Yeah, anytime you post something new, I'm on it, man. I'm telling you. I see that you go to you get your fruit, your produce from wholesalers, right? Like a dry dock, or you go to like a dry dock or like a wholesale? Where do you get your produce from?
Oh, okay. So I get it in it's called a downtown LA wholesale fruit district.
Mm-hmm.
They practice every day. They sell wholesale fruit every day from 3 a.m. to 9 a.m. And this is available Monday through Saturday. And I found this out like 2 years ago. Even when I was just not fully raw vegan, it helped me go mangoes and cantaloupe and not jackfruit at the time because I didn't know of it. But I found out about dragon fruit. I found out about lychees. I found out about rambutan,
Oh, rum.
Logan fruit, Logan fruit, and like it was just like wow, I didn't even know there was all this amazing fruit. So point is that I was eating all that even when I was a raw vegan. I was eating a lot of fruit, so I was always buying my fruit in bulk. Now that I'm raw vegan, I'm taking it one step further and buying it even more in bulk, and I buy like at least uh, I'm talking about like 6 to 7 cases of mangoes. Each of them got 20, 20 mangoes, and I eat that. That like holds me down for the week, you know.
So
And
what does that compare to, like in comparison to buying it at the grocery store in terms of the price?
oh, okay, so one box of mangoes for 20 of them, 20 medium size, like maybe like the size of the palm, not a little bigger, but good size. Usually would be $1 at the store each one. Uh, you get the whole box for $5, and the
I need
box
to
has
get on this, man. I need to find those.
Man, I feel you, brother. When I found out, I was like, "Is the universe working with me to go raw? Is the universe telling me, you come on, this is the way. I'm giving you everything. What more do you want? You know?"
Absolutely. There's a lot of pushback in the vegan health community against raw diets, and they say that they're not nutritionally or calorically adequate. But I think what the real issue is that it's just not available, you know, and it to as much as cooked food is for the price. So I think once we start, you know, finding these little life hacks for it, you know, we can show people that it is very easy to eat raw, you know, and there's plenty of people that do it and sustain themselves and thrive.
Yeah,
I did find a produce wholesaler around here that does that kind of stuff, and you definitely inspired me to track that down.
yeah. I'm pretty sure there's always somebody there. What it is just cutting off the middleman. Like that's the same fruit that would get to my local grocery store, but I cut it off. You know what I mean? I cut it off before it gets there, and I'm already purchasing it before they purchase it. So when I see it at their store, I'm laughing at the price they have it. Sometimes I get a box of organic strawberries, and I get eight because I only buy my berries organic. You know, so
Mhm.
because the pesticide residue is very they don't have a big layer. You know, so I try to get everything as organic as possible, but I know I go ahead off of I study like you know how each fruit has its own pesticide level residue and how many pesticides they require during the harvest and the process. So some of them are actually you know protected by the husk and don't you know require too much pesticides to begin with. But my point is that I when I go ahead and I buy a box of strawberries, I'm talking about the box of strawberries is 8 boxes, 16 ounce. One of them at the store would be $5 if you're lucky, not $6. And literally the whole box costs $6. So
That's
I
unbelievable.
like the you know they're making crazy amount of money when they're reselling it to people at the
Yeah, I mean,
grocery.
we're getting robbed out here.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand why people might feel like, you know, oh, stuff is really expensive to eat right, but you know, if we really think about it, if we grow our own food, which is the way we should be going, the way we should be going is to grow our food. You know, when you plant a tree and it finally gives you fruit, it gives you more than enough, and you can even give to people. You know, that's the beauty of plants. They give you more than enough. They give you abundance. You know.
Absolutely. You know, and that's another thing about trying to get people onto the raw diet because even though raw kind of limits a lot of the food, you know, food groups, um, it really gives you this state of mind where you're not so much into the mass production of things of like grains, for example. You know, you're not going to eat as much grains, and you're not going to support, you know, all the monocropping, and it supports permaculture. And the more you get people in the permaculture and get people wanting to get rid of their lawns and turn them into gardens, then all of a sudden there's food growing everywhere. But that's changing the, the aggregate state of mind, which is, that's
Exactly.
what I'm pushing for. I'm just trying to create the paradigm shift, not only for veganism, but really just for sustainability and a better lifestyle. So,
Yes, yes, brother. And you will. And you.
what's up, man?
No, I said, and you will. You
Yeah,
will.
I believe it. I've seen, because you know what? Just me going vegan, other people around me go vegan. Just me going raw, other people around me start eating way more raw food. You know? So we're
Because
like these magnets, like you were saying, electric.
exactly, because you start carrying more electricity. Your auric field starts vibrating higher. You start resonating at a higher frequency, and the people around you. This is physics. People could understand it in a spiritual sense, but this is physics. This is the way our world works. Our reality works through vibration and frequency. So you resonate at a higher frequency, and people are magnetized to that. They'll feel that, especially if they're around you on a regular basis. They're not probably conscious of this, but they're starting to become aware at some point, want to spend more time with you, want to be around you more. I have friends who it didn't make sense what I was doing maybe like a year, 2 years ago, and they see me now and they're like, oh, okay, I get what you're doing now. It makes sense now. But it took a while. It takes a while for people around you like to start like gravitating to and really overstanding what you're doing. And it takes time, but this is why I'm here holding it down, and I'm still going. I'm just getting started. I just turned 23, and I'm just getting into this. I've only been working out like about 11 months, so I'm excited what I can do when I'm really doing this year after year.
Oh, that's so inspirational, man. I really appreciate you putting in the work, and it's almost like, you're doing it for all of us, to be a shining example. But that's not letting anyone off the hook. We all need to be out there trying to be the best we can be, for ourselves, for the animals, for the rest of the world. So, but I really appreciate that you're on that grind. So, yeah,
Yes.
let's talk some lifting, man. I see you do some incredible stuff. I mean, you'll do like I see you'll do like 5 sets. You'll start off pretty light, and you'll do like 35 reps or something, and you'll just slowly like work your way up. You're doing the high reps, low weight, but then by the fourth and fifth set, you have some pretty heavy weight on those bars, and you're still doing like 12 or 15 reps. I saw you like squatting on your fifth set, but you did like, I don't know what you said, you got up to like 275 or something for 12 reps on your fifth set. That's, even for like big bodybuilders, that's pretty impressive. And so tell me about it. Why the high reps? Explain that to me.
Okay. Okay. So high reps because the body needs to download the weight before it actually before you level up to any certain amount of weight. Your body's gotta download the weight and download the form that you want to maintain, because it's all about form. If you don't have your form right, if there's no structure and no balance to the foundation, then it's gonna fall. It's all gonna break down, and you're gonna have kinks. You're gonna have your body aching in certain areas. You're gonna have imbalances being created. One leg's gonna be more stronger than the other because it's really so powerful. Squatting is a powerful workout, for example, and it takes a lot. I usually superset all my workouts one with another, so I'm doing 10 sets altogether, but going one and one. But with squatting, I just got to put all my energy to that, so I just do 5 sets straight. Like you were breaking it down, I started off with 25 pounds on each side. I go for 30 reps. Then I throw on 35 pounds on each side. I go for 25 reps. And by this point, my blood's circulating, my blood's pumping already. My muscles already are like warmed up. They're already going through some type of endurance training. It's more endurance at that end of it. And I'm not pushing any kind of crazy weight yet that I can I can hurt myself if I'm not set up properly. This is also warm up, and then I go on and I throw in a 45 plate for my third set, a 45 plate plus a 25 on each side, and so we got a 45, 45, 25, 25. That's I believe that's 135. That's a one 160. That's 160. So I do 160 for 20 reps. Then I throw on two plates on each side, and I go for 15 reps. And by that point, not now I know by the time I even throw on those two plates on each side, I'm already getting ready. I'm getting my mind ready because I know I'm about to move some weight that's really gonna ground me. And it's gonna take some real determination to move this weight. And I try to tell people this is I wasn't mentioning it before, but my brothers brought it to my attention. They're like, bro, you're doing all of this on the fastest state. You got to talk about this. You gotta tell people about this because this is insane. And I mean, I don't think it's insane because obviously I practice it. Once I learned how the body works, I knew that this was gonna work for me. So I applied it. As I applied it, my stamina kept growing. Everything kept growing. So I kept going, and this is what's working for me, fasting. And when I go ahead and I throw on two plates on each side, I go for 15 reps. Those 15 reps feel good, feel amazing. I got them out. I felt good. The weight felt good. I put them back. I throw on two plates. Still, I leave them there. I throw on a 25 and a 25 on each side. And this is what I hit recently. And this is for 275. And I couldn't even believe it when I did it. Honestly, it just felt amazing because I was able to handle the weight like I never thought. It was new to me, but my legs were able to bring it down, control it, sit down on the squat, come up, explode. It felt great. So I'm happy. I'm pushing myself. That's what I'm trying to grind it out here.
Yeah, that's incredibly impressive. Like, how much do you weigh, or how tall are you?
I'm 5'9" and I weigh about 160.
Yeah, so like, I mean, that's this is this. You're kind of like this superhuman, man. I'm telling you, and this is really why I wanted to invite you here to talk and get this out to people, so people can know, and definitely want to get people into the high rep stuff. I hear a lot of people diss high rep. They say, oh, the only way to go is, you got to do your, keep your rep ranges, like 4 to 8 or 6 to 12, and that's how you're going to get the gains. But I'll tell you, man, I don't think it's always like that because high reps keep me in the gym. When I start doing crazy weight, even when I was much bigger, I was 40 pounds heavier, and I was benching way more and squatting way more. I mean, I still got hurt. I messed myself up a lot, and the gym wouldn't be as fun that way. So I definitely agree with high reps. I've had very big trainers actually. One of the biggest trainers I had was really into high reps. He would always say 4 sets of 20 is the secret, and slowly work your way up. And by the time you can do 4 sets of 20 of a lot of weight, you're going to be really big. You got to be, you put on the mass to do that. So there's all this truth there. After watching your workouts, I went and I did a shoulder workout that was like that. I did the 5 sets for each exercise, and I supersetted some of them. Started out really light, did the 35 reps, 25, 20, and I had this shoulder injury, man. I had it for like a couple months, and I did all kinds of stretching. It got a little better when I fasted, but never fully went away. I'm telling you, after this high rep, like very lightweight high rep exercise, it was gone, man. I'm telling you, and it was gone. It's pretty much gone.
I'm glad you shared that. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so like there's really something to this: training the muscle, getting the lat. it's working the fine muscle fibers too. I think there's like the small fibers when you use the lighter weight at the high reps that you prime them. I mean, would you agree? Kind of prime them so that they're part of the stability when you're getting ready to lift that heavier weight.
Exactly. Wow. There you go. I didn't. You put it in other words that I hadn't heard it before, but definitely, yeah, it primes the fibers to get them ready for the heavy lifts. Definitely. Uh, I feel that more than anything, when you really hit high reps, you really cause more time under tension, and you really cause the muscle to tear. You really you get the most fibers to tear when you're really controlling the weight instead of just some people when they're doing bench press, I see them they explode up, but when it comes down they just let it smack down on the chest and they're just exploding up, and that kind of lifting it doesn't create the same thing because there's two forces. One is to go up and then one is to come down. So there's two forces, there's two parts of the workout. So if you whenever somebody's deadlifting and they kind of let it smack on the ground, and I hear them smacking it, and it doesn't make sense to me because part of the workout and part of the strength you're building is being able to resist it on its way down. There's two different kinds of resistance going on there. So it's about paying attention to detail when you're working out, and not so much about lifting and over the ego and thinking like, oh, I'm just gonna throw on heavy weight and I'm gonna just try to like move up because I need to move up weight. The body doesn't even recognize what the number on the weight is. The body just recognizes that it's being put under stress. That's all it recognizes. It just recognizes that it's being pushed, and this happens at different weights at different times depending on how much you build and everything. So what might feel right now like you can't control and you can't rep 30 times, you could barely rep it like 10 times. Eventually, you'll build your way up, and this is why I work out the way I do because it's allowed me to build up. I get man when I first started working out with weights and I first started squatting like a year ago, the most I could throw on there to rep for 12 times was a plate. And and that was after like 2 months of working out, and I felt great because I had never squatted in my life. I only started squatting like a year ago. So my squat game's gotten like insane, and it's I have nobody to thank but myself. Honestly, I would thank somebody who came out here and showed me like how to squat, but I never when I grew up when I got into all of this, I never had nobody really train me. As I started losing weight, I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I came up with childhood obesity, and most of the time, I was always overweight, like most of my life. So all my memories are of me just being out of shape, having asthma. I wouldn't be able to work out the way I do now, and all this me manifesting this peak of fitness now has been for me investing time, studying my home, becoming my own, nutritionist, suggesting my own. I never put myself on a diet. I never counted calories. I never counted grams of fat. I never counted carbs, macros, none of that stuff. I still don't. You could even say I'm an intuitive eater. But this is the way I build, and this is what works for me. And I came to find this and manifest this on my own, and it's man, I'm so grateful. Health is everything. Health is wealth.
That was actually a couple of the questions that I was going to ask you about was one, what was your inspiration for the fitness? And it seems like you kind of just covered that.
Sorry about that.
But and I mean, was there other inspiration? I was like a sickly child too, and so when I was in my early 20s, I finally wanted to fix a lot of those problems. But so that was a big factor for me. Sure. Is that all it was for you, or was there any other influences in your life?
The other influence would be that I hurt my knee. I had a I had a meniscus tear at the age of 19 that really when I was just starting to really lose weight and I was just starting to like begin my fitness journey, maybe just 2 years into it, and I really had cut down all the weight that I had all the overweight that I was carrying. So I was so grateful to be able to get a surgery that allowed me to recover. And I only went to physical therapy for two sessions, and I realized real quick that most of the stuff was like workouts that I could already apply at home, and I wasn't trying to be paying no therapist to tell me the workouts I can do at home. So I I went ahead and I took the my own initiative, and I at home I build my own setup so I can get my knee going. I started doing knee exercises, exercises for the quad muscle, specifically over the meniscus, that really supports your knee and supports the meniscus and the weight that it carries. So I mean, I even learned how to I learned about the surgery before I went into the surgery. I had seen the results of people if they had healed or not from these kinds of surgeries. I've seen a lot of basketball players get this kind of injury. A lot of people hiking get this injury, and it got scary for me because I was just getting into fitness. I really loved what I was doing with myself and improving my health, and I hurt my knee, and I thought I was gonna be out and I thought I was never gonna be able to walk again or run, let alone squat, especially the weight that I'm squatting now. And most people don't know that I don't speak too much about my knee injury, but because I don't carry it with me. I mean, it's a little chip on my shoulder, but I don't even think about it because my knee never really gives me like any tightness. It never yells out. It never in the cold. It never gets kind of achy. My knee just it's been. I'm at the peak of my fitness right now. I've never been. I'm on the other side of it now, and my health is where I thought it'd never be before. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, and I would say that the diet and lifestyle certainly helps reduce inflammation. So you're not going to deal with those issues as much as the average person would who's recovering from that injury.
And I did not know that at the time, brother. I did not know that about necessarily the inflammation and what plant-based eating would help in inflammation. And I was not aware of that, but as I became aware, and it made sense, and I was like, wow, that really did help me. But my intuition led me to just cutting out these things. So it's crazy. It's like I give thanks. I feel like a higher power has helped me regain my health and for good things, because now I help people, I inspire people, and I help people get reclaim their health now. So it's like a chain effect, and I give thanks for the Most High to push me to do what I do and give me the strength to heal the way I have and come back like I never have before.
That's fantastic, and you're a great example of that. And so then you mentioned calories and how you're an intuitive eater. So I mean, basically, you just eat when you're hungry within that 6 hour that window there. I mean, how are you in terms of making your gains? You're not keeping track of any calories or macronutrients or anything.
None of that, brother. None of that. I never have, and I never will, and I never have when I was losing weight. When they tell you to count calories when you're trying to lose weight because you need to be in a caloric deficit. If you want to cut, if you want to shred, if you want to bulk, you want to be in an over caloric, you intake. At the end of the day, these are modern practices. I'm trying to return everybody back to where our body's been operating in another way for so many years, more than we're practicing what we're practicing now. What we're practicing now has only been practiced for a couple hundred years. You know what I'm saying? What our ancestors were doing for thousands of years, our body is meant to be in a fasted state for most of the day. This is how it thrives. I'm not saying we're supposed to be complete breatharians and we're supposed to avoid all food and it's only about sunlight and breath, even though that I feel that was once our highest state. But this will be another topic for another day. But I feel that definitely fruits, they resonate. Like they give me energy. They talk to me when I eat. I feel like when I eat, I feel not only like I'm eating something that's giving me energy. I feel like I'm being grounded into a meditation when I eat. As I eat food, it's information, it's data that's coming through and affecting my DNA. It's how my cells eventually are built. They're built from the cells are built from what we eat. So we eventually are what we eat. And one of my favorite fruits is the mango. And I always tell everybody we are what we eat, and I want to be a mango.
Yeah, I mean, I'd much rather be thought of as, you know, delicious lingo than a, a dead piece of, you know, animal flesh.
Exactly,
Or a cooked
exactly.
potato, you know. Oh, well, I mean, that's some great diet and training advice. And it's really, started to help me and motivate me a lot and get me back on track in the gym and with eating. Now, it seems like spirituality plays a big role in this as well, because obviously, health is a totality. It's a complete lifestyle. It's not just one thing you do to get these results. And you do in your Instagram, you seem very spiritual. So tell me about that. What is spirituality to you, or what do you practice? What do you believe in terms of the metaphysical, I guess is how I'll put it.
I believe that we all should have a connection with everything that exists on this planet, especially the elements. The elements give way for us to be here. Our ancestors understood this. They had a symbiotic relationship with everything that they interacted with, the elements. They didn't see anything like a god. They didn't have necessarily any ideas of gods. They knew that certain elements just embodied energies, and they had names for these energies, but they weren't gods. They were just acknowledging the archetypes, and what the energies that are out there available for us to tune into. You know, I mean, I don't believe in anything specifically. I feel like I'm an eclectic spiritual seeker. Like I've read so much. I've kept an open mind to all things. So I've gotten to a point where I can understand the message. There's so many philosophies out there, so many different religions, so many different texts to pull from, so many ancient practices that have been out for so many years and generations that have come, and they keep a tradition, such a rich tradition, a culture that just it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see all the different varieties of embracing, what I would like to call the Most High Creator. I don't feel like it doesn't. I don't feel like there's necessarily a gender to something so, something so divine, something so grand. But overall, there's a higher nature, there's a higher force, and it breathes and it lives through all of us, and we're the temple to channel this, what you would like to call, or like I like to call, Christ consciousness. We're all here to channel Christ consciousness at the end of the day, and it comes in the form of me. It comes in the form of you. It comes into the form of your brothers and sisters and the people who are out here trying to work this paradigm shift and really tune us back into the light so we can get back to our higher state. You see, I don't just do this for physical reasons. I take care of myself because I understand that I'm not just this body. We're infinite, and everything is alchemy. There's no such thing as life or death. Every energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transmuted to another state. You've been here before. I've been here before. The reason we're having this conversation right now is because we've had this before. We're just divine reminders and reflections to one another. I love myself. I love you.
Love you too, man. And it's good to reconnect in this lifestyle and in this form. And I'm sure we'll meet in the next one too. So,
Exactly.
definitely vibrating at the same frequency. That, like I said, I think that's definitely why I saw your Instagram. And once again, I just can't stress it enough. I was extremely impressed. I think everybody should go check you out. It's sunchild_477 on Instagram.
Yes.
Uh, got some amazing bodybuilding footage up there. You have all your workouts on your Instagram. So anybody that wants ideas for different kinds of workouts, they can see it. It's all there for free. I'd definitely be interested in seeing more like what you eat. I don't know. That's the kind of stuff that interests me. Um, But yeah, you know, it's all great references for healthy lifestyle, for fitness and bodybuilding, for raw food. Um, and you know, speaking of which, I think that you should take this to YouTube, like, or Steam it or something. You need a channel, man. Do you have any plans of doing that?
Yeah, you know what? You have motivated me. You yourself, you planting that seed. That's it. I'm gonna work on that. I'm gonna focus on that because I do want to reach more people. You see, I barely started sharing my journey this year. I barely started like really letting people see what I do. I was just so focused on doing what I was doing that I really didn't think that I could help motivate people until some of my own brothers were being motivated by me, and they said, you know what, you gotta share your journey. You gotta let people see what you're doing, bro. Especially on a fasted state. You know, you're doing it every day. You're going workout after workout. You know, you're so consistent, and you gotta share it. You gotta share your journey before I grow, and I can't even show that I've grown. You know.
Right. Real quick, how many days a week are you working out?
I work out at the moment. At the moment, right now, I'm trying to go every day. That's what I'm trying to do as of right now. But before that, I would do four to three times a week, maybe sometimes five, but definitely always 4 to 3 times a week. And as of lately, I started. As of right now, I'm on day 11 consecutively doing it because I want to do 30 days in a row. That'll be the most days I've ever done in a row. As you can see, you know, the training that I'm doing is very hard. So for me to be able to do it on a day to day, it's requiring for me to be focused and all about this right now. Like everything is all about this right now, you know?
Absolutely. It's really going to show. It's already showing. I mean, I see you lifting more weight. Your physique is incredible, and it gets better every time I see your Instagram. So keep it up. Um, let's see. Are you going to be offering any personal training at all? Is there any, you know, packages or advice that you're willing to, you know, help people with, or go to the gym with people?
Definitely. I feel like as of now, it's become evident that my life's work is gonna be about helping others. You know, find the same thing that I found for myself, which is the ability to heal themselves. Which is we all have it, but we just gotta activate it. We gotta remember. You know, we gotta step back into our power. But we have the ultimate control of what we eat and what we consume, and we ultimately, you know, can control everything. We're the creators of our reality. You know, thoughts become things. We're manifesting this at a conscious or subconscious level. I'm just here to try to remind my brothers, and definitely, I'm gonna go ahead and offer training because as of right now, I'm focused on specifically training myself. But I have time and I have more than enough energy, and I'm dripping with passion right now to try to help my brothers and sisters because we have to get back to full potential. We have to get back to our highest, most optimal state. You see, I'm not saying there's a way to be perfect, but definitely we're not even beginning to search. You know?
Absolutely. And that I as well am here to try and help change society for the better and help people better themselves and feel better about themselves. And so, I mean, you've already done that for me just before we even started talking, just with your social media. So, you know, Instagram, I think, is a beautiful thing in that way. Um, well, you know, I think we're gonna just wrap it up here. I definitely want to do this with you again. You know, like I still have like so much more I want to talk about, and I think we have more to share with people. So, but for now, everybody, you heard it. Start lifting weight on a fasting state, and eat the superfoods. Eat a high raw diet. You know, get in the gym. Show everyone what you're made of. You know, and we're here to help. I know certainly I'm here. If you're in the Boston area or if you're in Massachusetts, I'm happy to bring anyone to the gym with me, absolutely free of charge, and take anyone to a grocery store, go shopping, and show you what to eat to live a better lifestyle, and of course, help you live a better spiritual lifestyle, because it's a totality, isn't it, Carlos?
Mind, body, and spirit. Mind, body, and spirit.
Absolutely. Yeah, hit Carlos up on Instagram, sunchild_477. And, you know, I'm here, of course, Raw Rebellion. I'm also on Instagram. And Carlos, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to speak to me and to speak to my audience about such a very important topic. We don't need to hurt animals to be healthy. In fact, we occur the most, you know, the best physical benefit and mental benefit from leaving animals and animal products off of our dinner plates. So thank you. I'm Nick Lewis. This is Carlos, aka Sunchild. Go check him out. Any last words for the folks, Carlos?
I would say much love and light to everybody on their journey. May you find what you seek. And if you seek to go ahead and be your highest self, which is what we should all be seeking, to be at our full potential, then the tools in the universe will find you, just like this video found you. And now you're here, and now you have the information. Don't look back now. Go ahead and correct your health. It's there for you. It's under your control. Reclaim your health. Reclaim your power. I love myself.
Thank you, Carlos. And real quick, we do, of course, Raw Rebellion and Hear Me Raw, Josue Joseph's channel. We host a raw vegan potluck once a month in Natick, Massachusetts at 13 Common Street. It's from 5 to 10. The next one is August 18th at 13 Common Street in Natick, Massachusetts, 5 to 10 p.m. Carlos, if you're ever in town, you know you're more than welcome to come stay with us and come eat some good raw food with us. If that's it, that's all you got to say. I've said my piece for today. We'll be doing this again. Everybody, I'm Nick Lewis. Join the rebellion. See you, Carlos.
Peace and love. Much love.
So long.